we all have to mature out of our own stages, outside of our modern self. We have to move past this ego, destroy the ego. That is the first step to enlightening not only yourself, but a mass of people too, a whole society. It's because once you destroy the ego, you destroy everything you once was, and you become something greater. And you know that you are everything, or everybody is a piece of everything. To build yourself up, to rebuild everything, the geometry of your body, the chemistry, the soul, the everything. It's alchemical breakdown. But you, in order to gain enlightenment, you have to destroy yourself in a way, your old selves. For a quick example, in the original Teen Titans, there was an episode where Beast Boy and I can't remember, but they both go into Raven's minds, and Raven's mind, the daughter of Morgan and the daughter of Satan, I believe. No, the daughter of Satan, I believe. They go into her mind, and they run into many different versions of her, because those were her in multiple different parts of her life. You just gotta move past everything that you think of yourself in order to move past and attain enlightenment. That is the first goal of recreating an enlightened society. That is the first step to advancing towards the golden age, the golden aura, or whatever you want to call it. Atlantis, whatever you want to call yourself. But there is so much you could learn once you let superstition go, the ideas go, certain perspectives either stay or mold into your own, or leave and go. Then you start boiling it down, and you start becoming more enlightened as the years go on. We are all advancing. The evolution of humanity is pretty far ahead, and within the last 50 to 100 years, a little more, 150 at the most, we've been seeing more evidence in literature that spirituality and the spirit body, and the entire idea of spirit body is also evolving, and the ideas that humanity is having about the spirit, that is also evolving. But there are small steps towards a bigger picture, a bigger stage, and each stage gets bigger, and you think it's the final stage every time, but it's not. It's an endless stage of spiritual growth and understanding, and it's never going to end. Not in a lifetime, not in your lifetime, and not for many. If reincarnation is real, and if moksha and the idea of the perfection of your soul, the perfection of everything, then the mold isn't really set, There's just so many grand ideas that humanity has come up with. In literature, mostly non-fiction, but there are a lot of things that people have come up with in fiction. A lot of interesting stuff. But mostly non-fiction. especially when it comes to some really good books about a lot of society advancing things. But society is always going to advance, surpass many things. The lack of science, that was the big one. We were ignorant enough to destroy our own gnosis as a society, our own enlightenment as a society, just for religious reasons. Now that we are understanding that religion is imperfection and science is more of a perfection, now more things are starting to grow. So, it's growing. I mean, the powers of the earth, they're growing, and the evolution, spiritual evolution of mankind ever since the beginning of the age of Aquarius, which was at 11/11, December 21st, 2012. That was the mark. That was the sound of the bells, the seventh trumpet, basically, that ended the age of Pisces into a new era. The age of Pisces was an age of debate, but the age of Aquarius actually is a spiritual and magical pursuit. Everything about the stars, everything that religion has always battered down is starting to come out, and it's true. The seventh trumpet, or the trumpet that blares at the end when the apocalypse begins, it's just blaring a trumpet that signifies a new beginning, a spiritual beginning where Atlantis eventually comes back. Dragons roam this earth to help the spiritual evolutional process of all mankind and many other similar things. It's all coming to a head. Spirituality is coming to a head where everything is going to happen. Everything. The advancement of humanity is happening right now, on this day, and every millisecond after this specific date, December 21st, 2012. Because if you research Christianity enough to know that their rejection on paganism and calling it the devil, it was an impulsive action. That impulsive action degraded science, degraded spiritual belief, degraded everything in humanity had to offer, because it was an impulsive decision to reject it for something else. That's what it is, and that's the truth. It was an impulsive reaction. The age of Aquarius is when that impulse completely stops. And that impulse, driven by some sort of ignorance, is destroyed. So every Christian, of course, is really going to believe it's the end of the world, because it's the end of their little world. But in the real world, aliens exist, dragons exist, magic exists, parallel dimensions exist, astral traveling exists, psychedelic shamans who use psychedelic drugs to enhance their abilities, they exist. In the real world, also science exists, and the more you realize science is expanded by something that's impossible, like magic. Someone views a piece of magic, or a grimoire, or any other esoteric tests, and sees that that esotericism, the structure of the magic, hints at pseudo-spirituality, or a type of science that hasn't been discovered yet. Like a long time ago, they said in the ancient esoteric books that the Christians burned, said that there are 7 chakras in the body. And just recently, within the last 20 years, we actually scientifically proven that all 7 chakras do exist, and they are real pieces of the body internally, like the heart, the thyroid, the pineal gland, all of them, the root chakra, all of it. It has real components. So all of these esoteric sciences that were burned away by Christianity is starting to become scientifically plausible. One of these days, we're going to see every human being not only just levitating to their work. And that'll be just an everyday thing. And we're going to see more levitating people than cars. It's a legitimate possibility. And I'm telling everybody to look out for an endless possibility. Peace.